Hi guys! Welcome back to another series, and this is our Thailand series. So ito nga, sinubukan namin mag-travel ni Habi abroad na kaming dalawa lang, and this is one thing na hindi namin nagawa nung hindi pa kami kasal. Hello again guys! Marami kasi kami nakikitang nagpupunta ng Thailand and na-curious kami ni Habi kaya nag-try na rin kami na pumunta dito ng kaming dalawa lang. Actually, tinanong naman namin yung anak namin if he wanted to come with us and we showed him the places that we will go to pero ayaw niya talaga. Hindi niya kasi gusto yung mga simpleng sightseeing lang. Mas trip niya syempre yung mga may amusement parks. Eventually, nearing our trip, nagbago yung isip niya and gusto na sana niyang sumama sa amin. Kaso wala na kaming mabook na ticket on the same flight. So alangan namang i-book namin siya sa different flight. Kaya ayun, next time na lang daw siya sasama. Kaya yung anak namin, iniwan namin siya sa ate ko sa Fairview. So Friday night pa lang, dinala na namin siya doon. And Saturday was our flight. So this time, sumabay kami sa in-laws ko kasi they were going to Resorts World that day. Then bumaba na lang kami sa may Belmont Hotel ba yun, yung katapat ng Runway Manila. And nag-Runway Manila kami going to NAIA Terminal 3. We only got 2 hand-carry stroller bags tapos yung mga personal sling bags na namin. For this flight, we already paid our travel tax when we booked our airfare. We booked our tickets for 20,000 pesos through Cebu Pacific for the two of us and return tickets na ito. This is not a piece of fare pero night flight pa rin yung pinili namin kasi guys, syempre mas mura pa rin talaga siya. Although take note ha, night flights yung minsan red flags kila IO or immigration officers ata from what I've heard. I still prepared our papers for the immigration. Actually, sabi ko nga sa husband ko, mas kabado ako this time. Kasi hindi namin kasama yung anak namin. Mas hindi kasi sila nagtatanong ng maraming questions kung may kasama kang bata kasi obviously it's a family trip. So since we already paid our travel tax and we don't have a checked-in baggage, hindi na kami actually dumaan sa Cebu Pacific counters. Dumiretso na kami sa pila ng immigration. So ito pala, if you wanted to skip waiting for your flights to open, dapat wala na kayong checked-in bags and bayad na ang travel tax nyo. And also, make sure that you still fill up your e-travel, guys. Ito yung online departure and arrival cards ng Pinas ngayon. You can fill this up 3 days before your flight, so don't forget about that. We arrived at the immigration line at around 3 o'clock p.m. and we finished at 3:40 p.m. So, ito na guys, immigration story time na tayo. Since hindi namin kasama yung anak namin, sa regular lane pa rin kami talaga pumila. At nung nasa IO na kami, we made sure na magkasama kami ni Habi nung sinabi nung available IO na next. So, nung nakita kami ng IO na magkasama, papalapit pa lang kami, tinanong niya na si Habi, sabi sa kanya, kaano-ano niyo po si ma'am, sir? So, he answered, asawa ko po. Then, we handed out our passports and boarding passes. Take note ha, yung boarding pass namin, yung printed at home na boarding pass. So, nakapapel siya, hindi yung card na boarding pass. Then, since magkasama na yung passport namin, sabay na kami in-interview. These were the questions asked. First, kailan ang last travel nyo mag-asawa? Next, kayong dalawa lang ba? And then third, sa Thailand lang ba kayo pupunta? Fourth, kailan ang balik nyo? And then fifth, wala naman bang nag-work sa government? And then nag-picture na and then tinatakan na yung passport namin. So una ako sa picture and pag-stamp and then sumunod si Habi. Guys, like I said, kabado ako nung time na yon. And since super recent lang din yung SG trip namin, nung tinanong ako sa dates, muntik ko pa mapagbali-baliktad talaga yung dates. So yun din palang disadvantage pag magkakasunod ang travel nyo. Minsan malilito ka na talaga sa dates din. So, after namin makalagpas sa immigration, ayun, kumain na kami ng dinner namin. And ang dinner namin is around 560 pesos. And trinay namin yung parang ramen place dun sa NAIA Terminal 3. So this is our actual flight taken from Flight Radar, and we boarded the Cebu Pacific flight 5J933 on August 5th, and if you would notice, delayed siya. This is actually our first time traveling to Thailand. Siguro around 1 month ko lang ginawa yung itinerary and research about this country. Actually, dapat noong 2018 or 2019, my in-laws also went to Thailand and niyayaya nila kami na sumama during that time. Kaso kaka-start lang ng klase ng anak namin sa school when they went there, so we cannot just take an absence. Kaya naman yung mother-in-law ko, may pabaon ulit siya sa amin na Thailand baht kasi may mga natira pa siya from their last trip.
Sana.
Hindi. Walang katabi.
Right.
So guys, meron nga palang time difference ang Thailand and Philippines. So si Thailand is ahead of 1 hour to the Philippines. So for example, if it's 12 midnight here in the Philippines, sa Thailand, 1 a.m. na. Saan? Ay, oo nga. Pwede mo mag-CR muna. CR na muna ako. Ka na. Lakad na tayo. Come on. Hindi ko alam kung talagang malayo lang talaga yung pinaglampagan ng aeroplano namin or yung gate namin. Pero sobrang layo nung nilakad namin from the airplane when we deplane and then papunta dun sa immigration. Sobrang layo talaga niya. at this point, ayan, napansin ko na agad yung hirap dun sa language barrier. Kasi, unlike sa Singapore, di ba, even though na iba yung salita nila, nababasa mo pa rin kahit paano yung writings nila, yung mga signs. Dito, iba yung writings nila, kaya medyo mahirap basahin unless meron siyang English translation talaga sa ilalim or sa ibabaw niya. So, pagkalabas namin ng arrivals area, umakyat kami kasi kinuha namin yung aming SIM card sa Klook. Tapos, nung nakapag-internet na kami, ayun, nag-book na kami ng aming taxi going to the hotel. So, yung taxi namin is amounting to 235 baht. So, nagbayad din kami ng 75 baht for the toll na inabot namin dun sa driver. So, 25 at saka 50 dalawa yon na binayaran namin. Yung taxi nga pala namin is, nag-book kami through Bolt, yung Bolt app. So, mas mura kasi ito compared sa Grab app. So, para rin siyang Grab, pero, ewan ko, mas mura siya eh. Na-compare naman namin yung ibang rides namin. Talaga mas mura talaga sa Bolt, guys. Tapos, if you will ask naman, bakit kami nag-taxi that time, is because around 12 a.m. na yan, around midnight. So, talagang wala nang train going to the city center again. Kaya kailangan namin mag-taxi ulit. So, actually, yung trip namin na to is parang yung trip din namin sa Singapore. Then, yung na-book namin na flight, talagang gabi siya. Tapos, hating gabi rin kami dumating. So, ito na, ang talagang napansin namin talaga sa Thailand agad is para talaga siyang Pilipinas, guys. So, Pilipinas sa Pilipinas yung itsura niya. Yun lang, hindi kayo magkakaintindihan when it comes to their language, pati yung mga signs nga, as I've mentioned. So, yung iba kasi walang English translation, tapos mahirap din sundan yung sa Google Maps. So, minsan hindi nagtutugma eh. So, talagang, siguro for this trip, most of the time talaga nag-taxi kami. It's either Grab or Bolt talaga yung binubook namin. For our hotel, we booked the Picnic Hotel in Rangnam Alley for 5,580 pesos for 3 nights stay. So, parang 1,860 pesos per night siya. Nagulat kami, guys, kasi sa mura ng hotel dito sa Thailand. Remember, our hotel in Singapore cost us around 20,000 pesos for 3 nights stay din yun. Halos same lang naman din sila ng hotel namin sa Singapore. Siguro mas modern lang yung style nitong hotel namin dito sa Thailand. And yung nabook namin, guys, king-sized bed din siya. So, actually, kung sumama yung anak namin dito, kasya sana kaming tatlo. So, quick honest review of the hotel, guys. Okay siya, modern yung design, and sakto lang na naman yung space niya ng room. But the thing is, medyo malayo yung lakaran from the train station. Kaya most of the time, nagta-taxi talaga kami. So, siguro kung babalik kami dito, next time, maghahanap na lang siguro ako ng hotel na mas malapit sa train station nila. But everything else, staff, cleanliness, okay naman din ang Picnic Hotel. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you again for watching and see you again on the next vlog.